بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين.
Interpretation of the Holy Quran.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. With the help of Allah, we began to have a brief commentary of Quran. We reached to chapter Baqarah, verse 284. Chapter Baqarah is the longest chapter of Quran which is revealed in Medina. Please listen to verse 284.
لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وإن تبدوا ما في أنفسكم أو تخفوه يحاسبكم به الله فيغفر لمن يشاء ويعذب من يشاء والله على كل شيء قدير.
Whatever is in the heavens and whatever is in the earth is Allah's. And whether you manifest what is in your minds or hide it, Allah will call you to account according to it. Then He will forgive whom He pleases and chastise whom He pleases. And Allah has power over all things. At the beginning of this verse, Allah says that belong to Him anything that is on the heavens and earth. We have two kinds of ownership, or in another word we can say we have two different kinds of owner. One, when we say owner, it means the one who is created, and he is the one who gave the life to anything or who brought it from nothing. In this way, we can say only Allah is the owner and nobody else. Allah is the creator of everything. And before anything, He was there. And He brought everything, and He can destroy all. So He is the real owner of the heavens and earth. Another kind of ownership is for the person who didn't have something, then he has something and tomorrow he loses. In another word, we can say that second kind of ownership is something that a person is considered as an owner by our agreement. We agree that a person who has such a things or who pays money for such a things or who works for such a things, he is considered in the society as an owner. This is our agreement. This is for a person who didn't own before, and now he is considered as an owner, and tomorrow he is going to lose ownership. So the first one is the real owner of everything, and the second one is not the real one. It is the owner who agreed by other people to be the owner. Allah says, belong to Allah anything in the heavens and earth because He is the creator. Then Allah says, وَإِن تُبْدُوا مَا فِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَوْ تُخْفُوهُ يُحَاسِبْكُم بِهِ اللَّهُ. Anything you have in your mind, if anything you have in your mind, if you manifest it, if you show to other people, or if you hide it, anything you have in your mind, you will keep it in your soul for yourself and hide it down, Allah says, يُحَاسِبْكُمْ بِهِ. Be sure that Allah will call you to account according to it. It means Allah knows what is going on and Allah is going to question about it. Here there is a question that what does it mean? Anything I have in my mind and I keep it for myself, what does it mean? It is accountable, or Allah will call us to account according to it. It means, do we have responsibility for whatever we have in our mind? Sometimes we have something in our mind that it is out of our control. For example, suddenly it comes to my mind that what is going to happen if there are two gods? Am I going to commit sin for such a thing? Thinking? No. Anything comes to our mind by itself definitely is not considered as a sin. And when we say accountable, Allah is going to question about it. But some of them are sin. It means they are in our mind because we have done something. It is like believing, for example, that there are two gods. We will be punished for that because we chose one way, we went in one, we followed some people, we read some books, and then we came to this conclusion, or without anything I started to say that yes, I believe that there are two gods. For such a wrong idea and belief, of course we are responsible for that. So anything bad if we have in our mind, but we have pushed ourselves to come to this conclusion and to have this idea, of course we will be responsible for that. A person, for example, who is committing sin easily, and in his mind he says, this is wonderful if all people will commit sin and disobey God. He has only in his mind. But this is wrong and it is a sin. Allah says in Quran that إِنَّ السَّمْعَ وَالْبَصَرَ وَالْفُؤَادَ كُلُّ أُولَٰئِكَ كَانَ عَنْهُ مَسْئُولًا. Indeed, the hearing, the eyesight, and the heart, all of these are accountable. It means, what do we believe? We are going to be responsible for that. Because we are the one who believes. We followed some people and we copied them without thinking anything they said. We followed them. We are responsible for that. Even if we don't do anything, only we have in our minds. So there are some ideas that if we believe them, of course we will be punished for that, and it is accountable. As we have in another chapter, chapter Nur, verse 19, of course the previous one, إِنَّ السَّمْعَ وَالْبَصَرَ وَالْفُؤَادَ كُلُّ أُولَٰئِكَ كَانَ عَنْهُ مَسْئُولًا, was in chapter Isra, verse 36. And this one in chapter Nur, verse 19, Allah says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يُحِبُّونَ أَن تَشِيءَ الْفَاحِشَةُ فِي الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. Surely, for those who love that scandal should circulate respecting those who believe, those who love to see that the sins is everywhere, the wrongdoing is everywhere. They shall have a grievous chastisement in this world and the hereafter. These people are going to be punished, and lahum azabun alim. Allah is going to punish them and have a severe chastisement for these people fi dunya wal akhirah, in this world and in the day after. So these people, we will see that only says إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يُحِبُّونَ أَن تَشِيءَ الْفَاحِشَةُ. Surely those who love that scandal should circulate respecting those who believe. Only those people who wants to see that other people are in trouble. they enjoy, only they have in their mind. They love to see that believers lose their belief. Of course, this is considered as a sin, although this is only in mind. And in this verse also, when Allah says that وَإِن تُبْدُوا مَا فِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَوْ تُخْفُوهُ يُحَاسِبْكُم بِهِ اللَّهُ, anything you have in your mind, if you manifest it, whether you manifest or what is in your mind or hide it, you should understand that يُحَاسِبْكُم بِهِ اللَّهُ, Allah will call you to account according to it. This is for such a belief and such an idea. Not anything comes to our mind, we will be responsible for that. In another verse, chapter Baqarah, verse 225, Allah says, لا يؤاخذكم الله باللغو في أيمانكم ولكن يؤاخذكم بما كسبت قلوبكم. Allah does not call you to account for what is weighing in your oaths. If suddenly you owe something, you swear to something and you have a wrong oath, Allah is not going to question you. You become angry and you swear to something without intention. Allah is not going to punish you. ولكن يؤاخذكم بما كسبت قلوبكم. But He will call you to account for what your hearts have earned. So we have understood that sometimes we have some idea in our mind and we are responsible. As we talked about this in another verse, the previous verse, when Allah said, وَلَا تَكْتُمُ الشَّهَادَةَ وَمَنْ يَكْتُمْهَا فَإِنَّهُ آثِمٌ قَلْبُهُ. Don't conceal the testimony. If you know something and they ask you to testify, you must go and testify and don't conceal it. Otherwise, فَإِنَّهُ آثِمٌ قَلْبُهُ. Such a person surely has a sinful heart. He has committed sin by his heart, not by his body. So we have understood that yes, we are responsible for what is going on in our mind. When it comes to our mind as an accident, we have no responsibility. But for establishing in our mind and believing on that, yes, there are a lot of issues. One of them is paganism and disbelieving in God. Kufr is something that if we believe on that, although it is in our heart, we are responsible for that and Allah is going to punish. From this verse, when Allah says, لِلَّهِ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ, we understand that Allah is the absolute owner. Anything in the heavens and earth, including human beings and including anything that belongs to us, and we call ourselves owner regarding to those items, we must understand that Allah is the real owner for all of us. It is absolute owner. And here when Allah says, وَإِن تُبْدُوا مَا فِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَوْ تُخْفُوهُ يُحَاسِبْكُم بِهِ اللَّهُ. Anything you have in your mind, either you hide it or you manifest it, Allah knows and Allah is going to question you about that. We understand that Allah has the absolute knowledge. Allah knows everything, even what is going on in our mind. So first, absolute power. Second, absolute knowledge. And at the end, when Allah says, وَاللَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ, and Allah has the power to do anything He wants, power over all things, we understand that Allah has the absolute power. Absolute power, it means we cannot imagine anything which is possible, but Allah has no power to do it. Yes, there are something which are impossible. The intellect says this is impossible. We cannot say Allah cannot do that. Of course, because it is impossible, not because Allah doesn't have power. Allah cannot put the world in one egg without making the egg bigger or big, and without making the world small. Yes, Allah cannot do that, but not because the problem is not because God has no power. The problem is the egg has no capacity. This is impossible. So anything which is possible, Allah can do that. Also from this sentence that Allah says, فَيَغْفِرُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ وَيُعَذِّبُ مَنْ يَشَاءُ. Allah is going to forgive whoever He wants and punishes whoever He wants. Allah wants to, since He is an educator for all people, He is a murabbi for all people, He is a Rabb for all people. Rabb means the one who takes care of other people. Because of that, Allah wants to warn people and Allah wants to give them good news and encourage them. Allah says He is the one, it means Allah, who forgive whoever He pleases. Be happy. If you do something good, Allah is going to forgive you. This is encouraging. And وَيُعَذِّبُ مَنْ يَشَاءُ. And whoever He pleases. But don't forget that He is a wise person. And He is going to punish whoever He wishes and He pleases. So be careful about your duties. Because of this sentence also, we say that all educators and trainers should try to encourage their students, those who want to train them and sometimes to warn them. Thank you very much for watching. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.